Hello everybody, welcome to QGC PX4 and a few more setups. So essentially the goal of this video, as it says in the title, is to do the PX4 setup and the ROS setup separately, and then perhaps give a little demo of how these things work. And then in the upcoming videos we will be working on the ROS, the PX4 bridge, and how that entire setup is done. So I guess first of all I'm just going to show you what in the end we'll be able to do with all of this. So here we go, here's a little world, here's a little gazebo, here's a little drone. This is the Iris drone. It's a pretty damn cool drone. Yeah, you can see it, nice, correct. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just show you how this overall works. And yeah, I guess I'm just going to give it a little takeoff. Always fun when we do stuff like that. And voila. And by the end of this video, you should all be able to sort of have this set up in your own laptop and fly the drone around. So yeah, sit back and enjoy. There's a script, if you guys are interested, in the description of this video. So all you have to do is download that script, and I'm just going to get back to it, but this is so damn fun. Right? And then so we're just going to land, and so that's the goal. So the goal today will be, by the end of this video, that you have your PX4 set up, and with gazebo set up as well. ROS will be downloaded and installed, but will not be working on the bridge right now. Alright, okay, so without any further ado, let's get right to it. Okay, alright, just gonna close the rest of them. Alright, okay, so first off, you're gonna go head on over to the description, and you're going to download this particular file, right? It's a ROS PX4 setup. And I should really name it Gazebo PX4 setup. It's alright, you guys get the point. And so what we're going to do here is, the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to do something like this. Head on over to your PX4 Ubuntu development setup, right? I'm just going to go over what's on that file, right? So if you go over to PX4 Autopilot, so PX4 Autopilot is essentially the PX4 is the most standard flight controller that's being used, the PX4, and almost all other flight controllers, aside from any hardware that you might be using, you're going to be running PX4 on it. It has a great library, it has great resources, so it's always great to use a PX4. So once you head on over to this website, the docs for it, you're going to go to the Ubuntu setup. Okay, of course I recommend that you do this only on Ubuntu 20.04 and then work on ROS NOETIC, right? So focus on this. This is your requirement, right? So once you have Ubuntu set up, then I think you should go ahead and follow that. So what you could do is you could take this, right? This particular thing, and then once you have it downloaded, let's say that you have it downloaded in folder, when you're downloaded, you're going to go into your CD downloads. I'll just show you guys on Terminator. Let's just do that. Don't worry about script. So you're going to go into your CD downloads, and then you're going to make it executable. So you're going to do chmod plus x, whatever the name is, ROS, whatever of this particular file, and then you're going to do just going to source this particular file again. All right, source. Right. Okay, great. So once that's all set up, you will be able to do it, but I'm just going to go over what is in this file. So first off, we're going to use the PX4 source code, right? So you're going to go over and you're going to download this, that's already in there. Then you're going to run the Ubuntu sh file. Then you're going to get a few libraries, because these are dependencies, you really need them. Then you're going to head on over to NOETIC, so ROS NOETIC. Of course now there's ROS 2 and everything, but honestly the fast RTDDS is it's a bit of a pain to set up, and there are a few issues that I don't know if they're ready yet, honestly. You could always use the Docker container. So if you guys ever want to use Docker, if you feel that Docker is better, then you can always use the PX4 Docker container, and it's pretty good. It's pretty well. It works well as I've seen. I've never used it personally, so you can see that. So getting back to the overall video, if you head on back to your ROS NOETIC, right? Once you've sourced your ROS NOETIC, the entire setup hash, again, this is all in there, right? Once you're done with that, once you have ROS NOETIC set up, you're gonna head on over to the Mavros setup, and yeah. So now this particular one, you don't need to do it right now. You know, for everything that we're doing right now, you don't need to have all of this set up. But again, for your further development, you can, right? Actually, I would recommend that you still have all of this set up, even if you're only going to be using this, right? But just, it's up to you, right? If it's required for the script, I'll add it to the script. I'll keep the script updated whenever it needs to be updated, right? And you can work on it that way. If there are any issues, just let me know. So once you have essentially PX4 set up and you have your NOETIC set up, then what you can do very easily, like the best instructions is to go straight to building PX4. So you've done this, Now the last command that you're going to do, once everything is done, once all the setup is good and clear, hopefully that's the case if the script is working. Again, I haven't tested the script, so if someone runs it first, I will respond back to if there are any issues and all that. But once all of this is said and done, you should again be able to do something like this. Make that, right? And what this will do is it will open up your world, the gazebo world, with a drone on top, right? And it'll set up your drone on top, and then you can put in something like this. You can do commander take off, and voila, right? Woohoo, your drone is now officially in the air. And you can also do stuff like commander land, and it'll land back to the ground. Now I do recommend that you go over to QGC. Again, I'll put the link on there, and you download QGC because it makes it a bit more fun to use. So QGC is essentially your ground control station. When your drone is in the air, QGC ensures that you have a link to the drone. It's ground control, right? So when you're flying, of course, right now what's happening is that there's this PX4 gazebo instance, right? This is emulating a real drone. So you have to understand that this is essentially this entire setup of gazebo and ROS. All its goal is to emulate a real absolute drone in the virtual environment. And QGC is essentially what you use to communicate to any drone, whether it be simulated or in hardware, in real life, right? So that is what's happening here. And so what you can do once you're done with this is, for example, you can tell it to arm. Once it's armed, then it's exactly like flying a real drone, right? See, you can take off, you can change the yaw, and then you can sort of make it run a little bit here and there. Yeah. Of course, you can always get to crash as well. We're gonna try to crash it now. You can see that, like, gazebo is a pretty damn sexy setup, right? So, for example, when it's like that, I can do whatever I want with it, right? It's real life stuff. It's very powerful as well. So hopefully now disarm. It's disarmed, and we're good to go. So yeah, use the script, and if there are any issues, do let me know, and we'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Alright, good job. Thank you guys.